Take a slow breath before you go any further, not because something urgent is chasing you, but because your soul has been asking for a pause. There are moments when life becomes loud, thoughts overlap, emotions pull you in different directions, and yet the deepest guidance never shouts. It waits patiently. This message is arriving in that quiet space within you, where clarity begins not through answers, but through understanding. Nothing here is meant to frighten you or rush you. It is meant to help you see gently, without pressure, without judgment, without fear. Awareness is not about discovering something dramatic outside of you. It is about noticing what has already been moving inside your heart for a long time. The unease you sometimes feel is not a warning of something bad approaching, it is often a signal that growth is taking place. When awareness increases, confusion can surface briefly, just like dust rising when sunlight enters a room. That dust was always there, but now you can see it clearly. This is not a sign to panic. It is a sign that clarity is close. You may have noticed lately that certain thoughts repeat themselves quietly, especially in moments of silence. These thoughts are not meant to disturb you. They are invitations to reflect. Reflection does not demand immediate action. It simply asks you to observe without reacting. Many people try to escape these inner moments because they mistake stillness for emptiness. In truth, stillness is where understanding matures. When you stop fighting your thoughts and allow them to pass gently, something shifts naturally within you. This message is about soft awareness, not harsh realization. There is no accusation here, no demand to change overnight. Growth does not happen through force. It happens through compassion toward yourself. When you begin to understand why you feel the way you feel, why certain situations affect you more deeply than others, you reclaim inner balance. That balance does not remove challenges from life, but it changes how you carry them. What once felt heavy begins to feel manageable, and what once felt confusing slowly gains meaning. A calm heart is not a heart without emotions. It is a heart that allows emotions to exist without being controlled by them. You are learning, even if you don't consciously realize it yet, how to respond instead of react. This is a quiet strength. It does not seek validation. It does not announce itself. It simply shows up in the way you think, the way you speak, and the way you treat yourself when no one else is watching. If you stay present with this message, without trying to rush to the end or look for hidden meanings, you may notice a subtle sense of grounding. That grounding is important. It is your inner compass recalibrating. Awareness sharpens gently when you stop expecting something dramatic to happen and instead allow understanding to unfold naturally. Nothing is being taken away from you in this moment. Something is being integrated within you. This is only the beginning of the reflection, not the conclusion. There is more clarity ahead, but it arrives step by step, not all at once. For now, staying calm, open, and attentive is enough. As you continue to sit with this message, something subtle begins to happen inside you. There is no sudden realization, no dramatic shift, yet a gentle awareness starts forming beneath the surface of your thoughts. This is how true understanding grows. It does not arrive loudly or demand your attention. It unfolds quietly, almost invisibly, like dawn arriving before you notice the light. This message is not asking you to believe anything new. It is inviting you to recognize what you already feel but may not have fully understood yet. Many people believe awareness means finding answers, but awareness is actually about asking better questions without forcing immediate conclusions. When you allow yourself to stay in this reflective space, you stop judging every thought as good or bad. Instead, you begin to observe patterns. You notice how certain emotions return, how certain situations trigger the same inner responses, and how your reactions have slowly evolved over time. This observation is not meant to criticize you. It is meant to help you understand yourself with kindness. There are moments in life when silence feels uncomfortable, not because something is wrong, but because silence removes distractions. In that quiet, your inner voice becomes clearer. This voice is not anxious or impatient. It does not push or pressure you. It speaks in calm reminders, nudging you toward balance. When you listen without fear, you realize that this inner guidance has always been present. It was simply waiting for you to slow down enough to notice it. Understanding also means accepting that growth does not always feel positive in the moment. Sometimes growth feels like uncertainty, like standing at a place where old ways no longer fit but new clarity has not fully formed yet. This in-between space can feel confusing if you resist it. But when you allow it, it becomes a bridge rather than a burden. You are not lost here. You are transitioning. Awareness helps you trust this process instead of rushing through it. You may notice that your patience has been tested recently, either with people, situations, or even with yourself. This is not a setback. Patience is often refined when you are learning to see things from a wider perspective. As understanding deepens, you begin to realize that not every situation needs an immediate response. Some moments require space. Some emotions require time. When you stop reacting instantly, you give yourself the gift of clarity. A calm heart does not mean suppressing what you feel. It means allowing emotions to pass through without letting them define you. When you observe your emotions, instead of becoming them, you gain stability. This stability is quiet confidence. It does not seek control over life. It trusts that life is unfolding with purpose, even when the purpose is not yet visible. This trust grows naturally when awareness replaces fear. There is also a deeper layer of understanding that emerges when you stop comparing your journey with others. Every soul moves at its own rhythm. Some lessons come quickly, others repeat until they are fully integrated. Comparison creates unnecessary pressure and distracts you from your own inner progress. When you return your focus inward, you notice how much you have already grown, even through challenges that once felt overwhelming. Reflection does not require isolation from the world. You can carry this calm awareness into everyday moments. Simple actions become more intentional. Conversations become more thoughtful. Decisions feel less rushed. This does not happen because you force yourself to be different, but because understanding naturally reshapes how you engage with life. Awareness softens sharp reactions and replaces them with measured responses. As this part of the message settles, you may feel a sense of grounding replacing old restlessness. That grounding matters. It is preparing you to handle future moments with greater clarity and emotional balance. Nothing here is about predicting what will happen next. It is about strengthening how you remain centered no matter what unfolds. When understanding becomes your foundation, external situations lose the power to destabilize you. This message continues to unfold gently. There is no finish line here, only deeper layers of insight waiting to be recognized. Stay present, stay calm, and allow understanding to mature naturally. As this message continues, you may begin to notice a shift not in your surroundings, but in how you interpret them. Awareness slowly teaches you that life is not constantly asking you to act, react, or decide. Sometimes, it simply asks you to witness. When you witness without judgment, situations reveal their meaning naturally. This is where understanding deepens, not through force, but through presence. Many of the thoughts that pass through your mind are not problems to be solved. They are signals, reflections, reminders of what still needs gentle attention. When you try to silence them, they grow louder. When you listen calmly, they soften. Awareness does not demand perfection. It invites honesty. And honesty with yourself is one of the most grounding experiences you can have. You may realize that certain emotions return again and again, wearing different faces but carrying the same message. This repetition is not a weakness. It is guidance asking for deeper listening. Each time you notice the pattern without reacting impulsively, you weaken its control. Over time, what once felt overwhelming becomes understandable, and what was once confusing becomes familiar territory. Understanding also reshapes how you view time. You stop rushing toward outcomes and start respecting the process. Growth does not follow urgency. It follows readiness. When you align with this rhythm, impatience dissolves. You no longer feel behind or late. You recognize that every phase has its own purpose, and skipping it would only create imbalance later. A calm heart allows you to respond instead of react. This distinction changes everything. Reaction is driven by emotion alone. Response includes awareness, reflection, and intention. When you respond, you remain aligned with your values even in difficult moments. This does not mean you never feel upset or uncertain. It means those emotions no longer control your actions. As understanding expands, you may notice a subtle increase in compassion, not only for others, but for yourself. You become less harsh about your past decisions. You see them as steps taken with the awareness you had at the time. Self-compassion does not erase responsibility. It transforms regret into wisdom. And wisdom becomes the foundation for calmer choices moving forward. Silence plays an important role here. Not the silence of isolation, but the silence of inner stillness. When you create small moments of quiet awareness, even during ordinary activities, your mind begins to settle. This settling is not emptiness. It is clarity forming. In that clarity, you start trusting your intuition without doubting every feeling. Understanding also teaches you when to let go. Not everything needs closure through explanation or confrontation. Some things resolve simply by no longer being fed your energy. When awareness grows, you become selective with where you place your attention. This selectiveness protects your peace without closing your heart. There may be moments when you feel emotionally lighter without knowing exactly why. This is a sign of internal alignment. You are no longer resisting certain truths about yourself or your path. Acceptance does not mean settling. It means seeing clearly before choosing consciously. From this space, decisions feel less stressful and more grounded. As this part of the message settles within you, remember that awareness is not a destination. It is a way of living. Each moment you pause, reflect, and choose calm understanding over impulsive reaction, you strengthen this inner state. Over time, this becomes your natural way of being. Nothing here is asking you to change who you are. It is simply helping you remember the steadiness that already exists within you. Stay with that steadiness. Let it guide you gently forward. As this message reaches its final movement, everything gently returns to one central truth. Calm awareness is not something you search for outside. It is something you remember within. Life has a way of pulling attention outward, toward noise, urgency, comparison, and expectation. Yet beneath all of that movement, there is a steady presence inside you that has always known how to remain grounded, observant, and patient. When awareness matures, you stop trying to control every outcome. You understand that control often creates tension, while trust creates flow. Trust here does not mean blind faith or passive waiting. It means doing what you can with clarity, then allowing the rest to unfold without inner resistance. This shift alone releases a deep layer of mental pressure that many people carry without realizing it. You may notice that your thoughts begin to slow, not because problems disappear, but because your relationship with them changes. Thoughts no longer demand immediate reaction. They become information, not commands. This distance creates emotional balance. From balance comes better judgment, and from judgment comes peace in decision-making. There is also a quiet strength that grows when you stop explaining yourself to everyone. Awareness teaches you that not all understanding needs to be external. Some clarity is meant only for you. When you honor this, your energy stabilizes. You feel less drained, less scattered, and more centered in who you are becoming. With time, understanding reshapes how you view challenges. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin asking, "What is this showing me?" This question does not come from fear, but from curiosity. Curiosity opens the door to learning without self-judgment. Learning turns experiences into wisdom rather than wounds. Calm awareness also strengthens patience. You stop rushing emotional processes. Healing, growth, and self-acceptance are no longer treated as tasks to complete, but as states to return to. You allow yourself to be human without pressure to be perfect. This permission alone creates emotional safety within you. Another subtle shift occurs in how you listen, to others and to yourself. You hear more than words. You sense intention, emotion, and unspoken meaning. This deeper listening improves relationships, not because you agree with everyone, but because you respond with understanding instead of defense. Even silence becomes meaningful rather than uncomfortable. As understanding settles, you may feel a quiet confidence forming. Not the loud confidence that seeks validation, but the steady confidence that does not need it. You trust your pace. You trust your timing. You trust that clarity will arrive when you are ready to receive it, not when anxiety demands it. Life continues to move, but you move differently within it. Less rushed. Less reactive. More intentional. More present. This presence becomes your anchor during uncertainty. When things feel unclear, you return to awareness. When emotions rise, you return to calm. When decisions feel heavy, you return to understanding. This message does not ask you to remember every word. It asks you to remember how you felt while listening. That feeling of steadiness, reflection, and inner alignment is something you can return to at any moment. It is not temporary. It is a state that grows stronger each time you choose awareness over impulse. As this part concludes, allow the message to settle naturally. There is nothing more you need to do right now. Simply carry this calm forward with you, into your thoughts, your choices, and your quiet moments. Understanding will continue unfolding, gently and steadily, exactly as it is meant to.